Okay, so we are going to do our first test, which is the pressure vacuum breaker. We are going to go ahead and come up to that vacuum breaker, and we're going to say kneel, notify, identify, inspect, and observe. We are going to bleed test cock 1 and test cock 2. We're going to remove the canopy off of that pressure vacuum breaker. We're going to go ahead and hook up the high side hose to test cock 2, and we're going to hook up the bleed off assembly to test cock 1. We're going to open test cock 2, and we're going to open the high side bleed of our gauge. We're going to bleed that water into the pool of that device, and we're going to get our gauge to the appropriate height of the center line of the air inlet, and we are going to go ahead and shut our high side bleed, and we're going to shut the number 2 shut off and the number 1 shut off, and we're going to very slowly and carefully open the high side bleed, just a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, and then watch that gauge and keep it at the same height like we had it, and we see that air inlet open at 2.8 psi, so that's a passing air inlet. Now, to confirm that that inlet opened all the way, we're going to disconnect the high side hose and hook it up to the bleed off assembly on test cock 1. We're going to leave test cock 2 open, and we're going to look inside that device and make sure that that air inlet opened 100%. By inspecting it and seeing that it did open 100%. So that's a passing air inlet. That's a confirmed passing air inlet. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to shut that number 2 test cock. We're going to open back the number 1 shutoff valve. We are going to open the high side bleed of our gauge again. Let that water and air out through that hose. And we're going to get our gauge the appropriate height of the center line of the check valve, and we are going to shut our high side bleed, and we're going to shut the number 1 shut off. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to open that number 2 test cock completely, and we see our air inlet open, and then slowly we see that check valve is holding tight. We're watching our gauge. We see that check valve is holding tight at 1.8 psi. So that's a passing check valve, and that concludes our test on that device. So